lectures. And before I get in today, this evening, late evening lecture, I normally don't lecture this late, but I say, why not? Let's try something different. But before I get into this lecture, I'm going to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my YouTube channel as we get ready to usher into the year 2026. I'm so excited. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is, what are your plans for your YouTube channel as a content creator? The focus of this lecture is going to be what are your plans for your YouTube channel as a content creator? And I've been wanting to lecture on this topic for a while. The audience is aware my YouTube channel is over 5 years old. I've been monetized, I believe, for well over 3 years now. And looking at my YouTube channel as a content creator, I have accomplished many feats as a content creator in the 5 years I've been doing this. Like I said, my channel's been monetized about 3 years, or a little over 3 years. I got the YouTube Silver Play Button Award and all of those accolades. But one of the things that I have really paid attention to as a content creator, especially for all of 2025, is having a strategic plan for your YouTube channel. That's all great with goals and objectives. But also, I want to mention that sometimes as a content creator, with my thought process in my mind, especially for the year 2025, I've been noticing that a lot of times you don't necessarily need a plan per se on paper as a content creator. This whole year, I've mainly been creating my various content, rather it's a lecture or a live, a short or live footage when I'm traveling abroad. But I've noticed for all of the year 2025, I've mainly just been guided by the Spirit, driven by the Spirit in terms of when I create my content, what I want to lecture on. And that's good, because that ties into evolving as a content creator. I can remember especially that first year, that second year in terms of being a content creator. Let me slow down. First year in terms of when I started my channel and all of the hard work that I put in behind the scene to get monetized. And I can remember back then, and that was a goal, that I had a strategic business plan in place and all of the things I needed to do to get monetized. It took me a little over 2 years to get, about a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years to get monetized. I believe 2 years. And but I can remember that first year I worked hard behind the scenes. But now, since my channel is well over 5 years old, what I noticed in the year 2025 is, to be honest with you, as a content creator, my channel has pretty much taken on a life of its own. I can remember in the early stage or the midpoint of my channel, I will be focusing on, views, watch hours, subscribers, and how many videos I produce, and heavily that first couple of years, maybe some of that third year. But I've noticed that fourth and fifth year, especially all of 2025 and some of 2024, my channel has a life of its own. If I want to do a video upload, I do it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not concerned about views. I'm not concerned about watch hours. I'm not concerned about subscribers. Whatever money I make per month from YouTube, if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. Because I tell anybody this, irregardless of what amount of money you're making, if your channel's monetized as a content creator, you should only view that income as just another stream of income. Because I have multiple retirement incomes. I don't depend on no income from YouTube. Never have, never will, in any shape, form, or fashion to pay my bills. The money I make from YouTube, I don't even touch that money. I just reinvest it. But I tell anybody from a business standpoint, because I'm a businesswoman, it's always good to have more than one stream of income. I tell anybody, don't quit your job just because your channel's monetized. You still need a primary source of income if your channel is monetized. And the reason why, because the money you generate as a content creator can vary from month to month. It really can. And you never know how that variation can go. So you do not want to base your livelihood on variation of income, because most people have certain bills that they must pay and that are not negotiable. So I tell any content creator, don't base your livelihood on a YouTube check. Again, like I said, is my plan as I'm looking at my channel for this 2025 and going into year 2026, is I'm going to just be continued as a content creator to be driven by the Spirit in terms of when I upload or when I do a lecture, or if I want to do a short, or if I want to do live footage when I travel abroad. I'm going to be guided by the Spirit. And that's a powerful thing, because I can remember at some point, especially 2024, I was, uploading daily. But now I'm to the point now I can go 2-3 weeks without even doing a lecture or doing an upload, because the Spirit don't guide me during that time. If I'm not guided by the Spirit, then I'm not going to do it. I make a point as a content creator, and I always have, is especially when I do my lectures, especially when I get in front of these cameras and do these lectures, I'm going to make it my business to always present and deliver thought-provoking, useful, educational information to the listener, to the world. Or rather it's a lecture, rather it's a short. If I can do a outside doing a short of nature short or coffee short. I do limited live footage when I'm traveling abroad, going to visit many of these 7 wonders of the world. I'm on the trajectory path to continue to do that for myself, not because I'm a content creator. And because I've been fully retired now for over 2 years, and now since I'm no longer having to get up and hit nobody time clock, now I can spend time reaping the benefits of all of my hard labor for the years I've been working in this workforce. I tell anyone, the key thing as you approach retirement or at any age is to make sure you enter retirement with 0 debt. Get your debt down as low as possible at any age, but especially as you're approaching retirement. You can retire at any age. And I've been debt-free years before I retired. So, that's the key right there. And I spend a lot of my time not just being a content creator. Being a content creator is just one small aspect of what I do. Because when I get done with this lecture, I know the value of deplugging. Cameras ain't rolling on me 24/7. No, I view being a content creator is I get in front of these cameras when I'm guided by the Spirit to deliver specific information. I'm going to acknowledge my viewers. I'm going to thank my viewers. I see folks chiming in this live stream lecture as I'm delivering this information, and I respect that. But when I'm in front of these cameras, I'm here to get down to business. And I'm just really, I want to thank God for positioning me to be in the position as a content creator where I don't have to worry about a strategic business plan. If I don't want to do a lecture, I don't. If I don't want to get in front of this camera, I don't. I don't have to worry about views and watch hours and income. None of that. So since I don't have to worry about any of that, it frees me up mentally to just focus on when I do get ready to do a lecture, I just do a lecture. And if I don't want to do one, I don't want to do one. And that's the position I would tell any content creator. That's the position that I tell any content creator, where you want to, at some point, get your YouTube channel at a point where it's running, it's literally running itself. You want to get your YouTube channel to a point where you're not worried about watch hours in any shape, form, or fashion. You're not worried about views. You're not worried about subscribers. You're not worried about brand deals. You ain't worried about nothing. If you don't want to get in front of the cameras and do an upload, you don't have to. That's a powerful position to be in as a content creator. So what that does is set the stage for you to, for real, to maintain a balance between being a content creator in your real life. To maintain a balance in terms of that social media persona and your real life persona. Because those are separate. Your social media persona should be separate from your real life personal persona, bottom line. And I'm a firm believer in that. Those two worlds, those two personas should not be enmeshed. They should be separated and divided and distinct. That's my take on it. Because in reality, being a content creator, because I do have a strategic business plan, but my plan in moving forward is pretty much to be guided by the Spirit now as a content creator. But I still do have a strategic business plan in place for my YouTube channel. I created that day one of my channel. And the reason why, because being a content creator, it really is people, rural, a business. And I do embrace that business model. And that's why it's important when you embrace that business model to keep that YouTube business separate from your real life rural. It's a business by evidence. If your channel's monetized, YouTube is going to send you a 1099 at the end of the year to reflect your income. Like, we're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year to reflect the amount of money you made as a content creator for the whole year. So that's evidence. It's a business. It's a business by evidence. Violate those community guidelines, YouTube will shut you behind down. So in knowing that it's a business and embracing that business model, that's why it's so important at a certain point within your YouTube journey to get your business to the point where it's self-sufficient, where it will run itself, and that will free you up to focus on other things. That'll free you up to really keep that balance in your life. That'll free you up to work on other things that you may have to be working on. Because even though I'm retired, I still make money utilizing my credentials under my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, which don't have a doggone thing to do with YouTube. So it's critical as a content creator in terms of what do you want your channel to look like, or what direction you're taking your channel, or what plan you have for your channel in the upcoming 2026. You want to get your YouTube channel to the point where it's running itself, people. Real talk. Where that'll just free you up to do many other things. You ain't worried about nothing. Because I remember in the early stage of my YouTube channel, I was concerned about views, watch hours, memberships, subscribers. And then once you get monetized, you got to maintain the criteria to maintain your monetization. But when your channel's getting to the point where you ain't worried about none of that, then all that does is freeing up your time, is freeing up you so you can do other things in your life, because YouTube should not be your entire life. YouTube, being a content creator, should not take away from your other important responsibilities. Rather, it's at home or with your kids or your significant other or self-care or with your job in the real world, people. Real talk. So again, as a content creator, be able to answer those questions in terms of what plans do you have for your YouTube channel as we approach 2026, and just be thinking about in terms of getting your channel to the point where it's literally running itself. Real talk. So share this information out. This is something I've been wanting to touch bases on for a while now in terms of revisiting this topic. And again, I want to thank all of my viewers. I want to thank everyone for supporting my YouTube channel as we get ready to usher into the year of 2026. I want to appreciate everybody who's stopping by to listen to this live stream lecture. As the viewers aware, I'm gonna acknowledge everyone who's in the chat. I'm gonna acknowledge everyone who's stopping through to listen to this. But one of my specific styles, and I've had this style since the birth of my channel, is I'm not gonna go back and forth in the comment section responding, because that's gonna slow me down from my deliverance. And that could easily turn a 15 or 20-minute lecture into an hour and a half lecture, which that's going to cut into my time. But I do want to appreciate everyone. I want to acknowledge everyone for stopping in. And that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.